Good evening. How are you today? How is your day going?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
So, I believe the week went well, both at home and at work.
Yeah, it did. Thank you so much. How are you? How was your week?
I am right here. I'm trying to, I can make this a little bit brighter. Just give me a minute.
All right.
Okay. So, tonight we are, last week when you wanted towards the conclusion of the discussion, you brought up the issue of experiences of parents with special needs in the church.
Yeah.
So I encouraged you to uh, shield your sword until this week so that we talk about it this week. Hopefully, we will have someone who can tell us their experiences. But as far as I'm concerned, it hasn't been a very wonderful one. Um, as much as we would want the church to be a place where we can come and get succor and get relief and get, comfort generally. For a lot of parents, it hasn't been exactly that. Basically, because personally, it's just occurring to me as I'm talking that it's still the same society. The only thing that has changed is the venue.
Mm,
You get what I mean?
yeah.
It's still the same person you meet at a marketplace that is hostile to your child. It's the same person that will be at the church. So the fact
Okay.
that they are at the church may not necessarily change their attitude towards the children. It's just something that's occurring to me at this point. Otherwise, all of us would be hypocritical. All of us would be hypocrites. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
So as I'm just saying it now, it's occurring to me that our faith does not change just because we are in another environment. It's still the same set of people, it's still the same ideology, it's still who they are. But in any case, as parents, we tend to expect that being at the house of God, people would be more considerate, more empathetic, and unfortunately, just like the situation is, we tend not to get what we expect. But what's your take on that? As a minister, as a woman of God, what do you think? Are you there?
Hello. Hello. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was a bit fluctuating.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and you said it right. But I come across this question on Facebook the other day, and the question was very simple. How
Yes.
do you feel with your autistic child in church? So um, there were different suggestions. Some people said they don't go to church at all
Yes.
because there is no use going. At the end of the day, they can't sit inside the church.
Yeah.
And some says, some had very wonderful, not many, but they had very wonderful experience.
Yes.
That one of them said at one point the child left her side and walked straight to the altar. And
Okay.
everybody was almost like, so the pastor said, no, 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 they should leave him alone. And the pastor asked him, so this child was with the pastor while the pastor was preaching all through.
Oh,
Just
really?
because there was no anxiety, it was not
Yes.
disruptive. It was just, oh, like, and I believe autistic children as well, probably they expect that reaction. You understand that?
Yes, they are already
I mean, not just
expecting.
autistic children,
Yes.
generally, young people, children and young people in the spectrum would expect, not always, but I believe sometimes they do some things and then they come to the realization, oh my, what did I do?
Yes.
And they expect that reaction of everybody like getting involved
Yeah.
too. And just because that reaction didn't come, they also did not have their defense mechanism, which is meltdown or
Yes.
acting out. You understand? And that really warms my heart. Why? Because um, this particular leader must have some understanding, some awareness
Yes.
about children in spectrum. And the parent that was saying this, that was the only reason she's still in that church today. She
Imagine.
felt warm. She felt taken care of. So now there is provision for young people. And if the main pastor is not busy, he's the one that actually take over
Whoa.
the support of those young people. He really goes there, really support them, really play with them, encourage them. And a lot of them are building that confidence because it's like the main authority, the father of the house, sees them and
Yes.
actually dedicates time. So I believe that as much as it might be the stereotype of people not wanting, it's just putting that extra effort, isn't it? Just making that extra effort to understand. And when you understand, that is empathy. Like, okay, this is what this person is going through. And I don't think many parents they need much. They just want just want you to see them, to just know that this is the water I am navigating. And if somebody they are not expecting you to take the load from them.
Yes.
They just want you to just to be there.
Just to know that this is happening, and if you
And
don't if you don't have
that's
anything to say, just leave them alone and make sure
and
they
that
are just
actually
uh-huh.
won that parent over. And a few parents say the same thing, that my church is like that as well. But majority said no. Some of them felt ostracized
Yeah.
and don't want to go back. Personally, I had a very ugly experience in that area.
Yeah.
But at that time, I attribute it more to lack of knowledge. But as time goes on, I also realized that everyone, there was a program I attended last weekend, and this lady said, one thing about UK is everybody pretends. Everybody to like
Yes.
we all think we have arrived. we just mask it up. And it reminds me of something I used to say that, you know what, when we all put that foundation, is it Mark or is it whatever, Mary Kay,
Really?
all the face are smooth. But if we remove that foundation, we can see that we all have bumps, we have
Of
wrinkles, we have
course.
head
Yes.
aching, we have, we have bags under our eyes. So
Mm-hmm.
is our life challenges, so are life issues. That we all seem to look at somebody because their own challenges are obvious and
Yes. Not
look down
or
on
not
them
hidden like
does
the
not make us
others may
better
be.
people. It just take a little bit to uh, to go outside of your comfort zone and just learn exactly
Yes.
what's going on. I remember when I did my dissertation on autism in Black community.
Yeah.
And you will not, in fact, the research I made, it baffles me. And these are the things that spur me on
Yeah.
to really go on this journey, because it was alarming how many parents felt isolated and ostracized having a
Imagine.
child in the spectrum, and how many don't even know what they're dealing with. There's not
Yes.
enough information.
Yeah.
And one thing, it takes a lot for you to be going through and want to know about it, because the first thing you receive is the blow, because that's not the outcome you were expecting. And
Exactly.
as a community, my belief is we making that effort. There was a program, an awareness program we did at the beginning, understanding the challenges of life. So I had 3 pastors to speak in that program.
Mm.
So these 3 pastors, I strategically invited them because 2 of them were working as SENS specialists.
Mm.
One of them had a child in the spectrum. Actually, one of them have a very severe
Autistic child.
situation with the child.
Yeah.
Now, they are all ministers of God. But one thing I found out then was my secular world is different, my spiritual world is
It's
different.
different.
So
Oh.
there was no, I go to my
Synergy.
work, I
Yeah.
just do as a professional, I come to my, to the
Church.
spiritual world, I be, so there is not that connection. But
Mm.
my revelation there is, whatever God has allowed you to learn secularly was meant to be used for the kingdom, to
Of
build, to
course.
create awareness, to bring solution, to, you understand. So
Yes.
this has been one of the reasons I advocate a lot in this area. I am not, I don't come with accusation or condemnation.
Yeah, of
I
course.
just think that our first responsibility as brothers and sisters in the religious circles, be it in church or whatever community we find ourselves, our first responsibility is to have that understanding of human nature, that understanding of
Exactly.
human nature, how to be able to live in harmony with one another. Not thinking that because it is not my problem, so maybe because I'm better. Actually, it's not like that. The Bible actually encourages us to be our brother's keepers.
Exactly.
So if a child that doesn't have full understanding cannot evoke empathy in someone that says they believe in God, I wonder what else. Because I have read in that same word of God that if you say you love God and you hate your brother, you are a liar.
Big one.
Because if you don't love your brother that you are seeing,
How will
there's
you
no way
love
you
God
can
that
love
you
the God
cannot see?
that you have not seen. So it is our responsibility, be it in church or any religious community we find ourselves, to take up that even a greater responsibility as people of God. So, because how can you, the book of James, make us to understand that you, when a brother comes to you that he is hungry, and you say, "Oh, God bless you, God will feed you," he said, "You have not done. That is faith without work
Yeah,
is
he's dead
dead."
on his own.
You understand? So you've not done anything. So if you are given the opportunity to come across that, be it a challenge or a situation, it calls for you to come out of your own comfort zone and find a way to be part of the solution. That's what we're called into. You understand? Because
Yeah.
if you cannot give food or give clothing or be that support system to a parent drowning, then the only thing you do is I'm praying for you. God said that faith is dead. That faith we profess needs to come along with work. And work take effort.
Of
To do
course.
any work, it takes effort.
Yeah.
You have to move from one place to another. That's what that you have to push to do something.
Assert
It takes
some
effort.
energy,
It takes
determination.
energy to push something to work. So that is our responsibility. And if you are a leader or a part of a congregation and you're hearing me, and this is not a condemnation or an accusation. No, it's a call to rise from our comfort zone to actually participate in what is going on, to actually get to know. We can know the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, but if we don't have the empathy to live within ourselves, amongst ourselves, we fail. So if those that are vulnerable don't have a place amongst us,
Yes.
then we are not doing
We are
anything
not
right.
doing the right thing. Yeah.
Okay? So it is a responsibility. It's not a condemnation, it's not accusation, it's not something against anybody. No, it's a cry, because there are lots of people that want to be part of a family, a part of the family of God, but they don't have that opportunity to be because of the challenges of life, such as having a child in the spectrum. So they have to work thrice more to be able to bring their child to the church or to at the gathering,
Yeah.
and then have to contain themselves because they don't know how that child is going to act out, and then they have to bear the shame of people looking down, or people being uncomfortable. No, provisions needs to be made,
They are not just
and we
managing
need to talk about
themselves.
this. They are hard conversations, but it needs to be addressed,
Yes.
because everyone have a right to be part of to sit at the table. If secularly provisions are being made, they create opportunity for wheelchairs, they create sensory
Yeah.
area in
Accessible areas.
supermarkets. Why can't things be made possible when it comes to the gathering of the family of God? So that's my take on
Yeah.
that area.
It's really a passionate one coming from deep within. But there's something you said about, if they cannot have a space, in the place of God. And then going back to what I said before about being the same people, it occurred to me that it shouldn't actually be the same people, because at the end of the day it should be the other way around. Instead of us carrying what we are outside inside the church, we should be carrying what we are inside the church to the outside. So I think it's because of that expectation that, even without being taught, for the mere fact that this individual is a fellow human being, when for the mere fact that this individual is an image of God, is enough to give them
Yes.
benefit of doubt. But it's those that are outside, which in the context of everybody just fighting to survive, assuming we are not carrying what we are in the church to outside, that's the place you need that education to say, look, this person is like this, they require this is what is going on. But in the church, the expectations are high, because to whom much is given, much is expected. You have been given the word of God, you have been given the knowledge of things eternal, beyond physical. And so, in that space, it is expected that we see each other not by how we look, but by who we are in Christ Jesus, or in whatever you're worshiping. But the mere fact that in that space we ought to have gone beyond physical appearance to see the soul, as to see each person as a soul who is by extension an image of our creator, an image of our God. That is what makes it a little bit more uncomfortable when it comes to the aspect of acceptance in church. So, like I said, we should be talking more of taking what you are in the church to outside, rather than bringing what you are outside to the church. So this day, we felt we should just address this. I don't know if his phone, are you here? If his phone, are you with us? Do you have something to say?
Maybe she's not. Maybe.
Yeah, sorry,
Uh-huh.
I've got my headphone number. I was
Oh,
sorry, away
okay.
from my phone.
Yeah.
Uh, to be honest, I haven't really got much to say about this because I've not actually ever had any experience per se. All the churches I've been going to, grace is always with me.
Yeah.
So I don't. Few times I've allowed that to go, and they treated her okay, and they all knew about her, so they took care of her,
Yeah.
and it was okay. And yeah, I've not really had any awful experience, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes the kids will be like, oh, feel so like I don't want to associate with her, so she doesn't talk. They will see her as someone who is like,
Yeah.
why is she not talking? Why is she not playing? Why is she not, especially when she's gone, she's in a new church environment.
Yeah.
And she'll be like, oh, but majority, I think since I came to Newcastle, because we moved from Nottingham, she's always with me, really.
Okay.
I think that's it because I've never really been to any African church.
Oh, okay. I
So
think
most of
that
my
makes a
churches
lot of
are,
difference.
yeah, most of the churches um, is not white, not black African churches.
Yes.
But once I've been to, a few times I've been in Newcastle, I went to African church. They were okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but majority of the time, because in the other church where we were in Nottingham, they had children centers and everywhere, children groups. So
Mm.
they're okay with that. Yeah, that's it really. I don't never really experienced apart from the kids seeing her as she's not one of us, kind of. Yeah, apart
Yes.
from that, and just another thing is the shame also kind of when you go to church and every other child you feel like, oh, why me, why
Exactly.
this, I feel so ashamed and everything. And then there was a time I actually said to a pastor, I think that actually said, why is God not healing Grace? Why, why do you think God
Hasn't
is
heard.
not doing something? And she said, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Uh, I don't know why God doesn't heal some and leave some unhealed. And I was like, that wasn't the question. That wasn't the answer I was expecting. It's a
Yeah.
bit of encouragement, but telling me God doesn't heal some and doesn't heal some is, I don't think that's biblical, So that actually got me a bit down. Yeah, apart from that, yeah, it's been okay. It's really okay.
Yeah, I guess it's different strokes for different different strokes for different what did they say it again? But the truth is, some people have this experience, some don't. But there is still a huge difference when it comes to awareness, level of awareness. Communities that have higher awareness, it's always a little bit easier. Because I remember when my child was younger, we were in Nigeria. I was in because of her, I had to actually start teaching in the church when it was time for her to receive communion, because I knew there was nobody available to do that. I started, and even in that state, a parent asked my nanny, her nanny, to stop bringing her to the church, to the catechism, the children's classes. She said, why? She said, no, that she's disturbing their children. That she's actually disturbing their children. Okay. The girl didn't even tell me. So the next Saturday, she was like, she wasn't getting ready for church, for catechism. And I'm like, oh, what's wrong with you? That one woman said, and I'm like, one woman said, and you actually want to stay home and keep my child? Like, seriously? Is that how it works? When did the woman become the person that determines what happens in my house? So on that occasion, I went to church. I just beckoned on one of the other teachers to come and handle my class. And I went in, I gathered every single person in that church. I set out the chairs. I called women that came for meeting, men that came for meeting, people that were cleaning church. It was a Saturday morning. And I'm like, I have a meeting, I have a message. Because I was already a teacher, the priest felt I was just doing something that concerns the church. And then everyone gathered. And I started teaching them about autism. Then people were like, oh my God. When after some time, the woman that said that stood up, I was like, I didn't mean it like that. I said to her, I didn't even know you were the one. Honestly, she didn't tell me. My girl did not tell me who said it. I didn't know you were the one. And I'm not doing this for you. I am doing it for those who may not be able to do what I am doing. Because they will just shrink and disappear. So one other woman started telling me how because of stigma, one woman that used to come with her son, they have stopped seeing them. Another one, up to three people, they cited examples of how they came and people were not happy that their children was making noise, and all of a sudden they won't see them again. I said, if you love yourself, you better go and find those women and tell them that they can come to church. So it was an impulsive engagement, but if only you knew how much difference that thing made in that church. People began to learn, people began to even see them. Some people would just never have seen them or known that anything like that is happening. But the biggest message is that it can happen to anybody. Nobody did something huge. It's not like the Bible when they say, is it the sins of the father or the mother that the person is blind? No, it has nothing to do with nobody. He can enter any house, he can attack anybody he wants to attack. So I was glad that that awareness was created, a lot of women went home that day, really conscious of their environment, because a lot of times we are also not very conscious of our environment. Some people are not particularly they are not particularly determined to be harsh or to be sensitive. They are most times distracted. A lot of people could just be distracted, and as long as something is not happening the way it should happen, the first instinct is rejection, or pushing the thing or the person out of their comfort zone. So the awareness is more like to be conscious of what's going on, no matter how much you feel you are under stress. Be conscious also that there are people around who are also managing things that at the end of the day sometimes may even be much more stressful than whatever you think you're going through. And we also, as parents, I have learned to caution myself and caution some other people around me. We should also learn to accommodate others, because sometimes we are also so engrossed in our own challenges that we tend to believe that our own is the biggest, and so the whole world come and prostrate before us. So it happens. And then sometimes I also ask myself, if I didn't have this child, would I be this passionate? Like,
Understanding.
would I even be aware that this is happening to people? Will I even be this empathic and preaching? Would I have been this empathic towards them if it wasn't me? Would I even have known that anything like this existed? So by the time you ask yourself these hard questions, you ask yourself, and then you realize that if you put yourself in those other people's shoes, you probably would have done worse. So you have no other reason. You don't have no other choice than to even pity them, because it's more like this person is not even aware of what's happening. It's not consciously hurting me. They are just being themselves. Because I remember as a young girl, I would chase after small children who are misbehaving, in quotes. I would use cane and clear them out from my compound, from my house. So, you know how you want things to be done the way they ought to be done. If a child is lagging behind, you want, to just be like, oh, can't you do this and all of that. But then it looks like, yeah, something just pulled you back and say, look, it's not always as rosy, it's not always as straightforward, it's not always as perfect as it ought to be. So I don't know, it's a big dilemma for everyone, both for the ones on this side of the fence and the ones on the other side of the fence. And then some of our parents, sometimes we purposely just want to be like, can't you see I am in this? But come on, those other people also have their own challenges sometimes. So as much as I can, I try to shoulder what is mine. I wouldn't want to spill over my trouble into another person's space. But as much as I would want to, I would appreciate it if people around really just understood. I'm not asking you to come carry, but just to understand that this is not easy at all. And I will also understand that even though this is not exactly what you're carrying, you might not always also be finding it easy with whatever you are also carrying. So I think this is like a two-way street. Offer me the empathy and support. I offer you the understanding and consideration too. I don't know if you have anything to say, Adeso.
Yeah, that's a very good perspective to build. That is why we are calling it building bridges, right?
Yes, the hand.
Coming to a place whereby we meet each other, you know, halfway.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the times we as parents, most of the parents I have dealt with, most of the time they're still confused because they are navigating something they are not, which is not their norm. It's not
Yeah.
something that they take up like that. So they are still not very fully uh, they have fully not getting into that. They have not understood it very well.
Yeah, they've not
You
come
understand?
abreast with what
Yeah, to
actually
come
it
to
entails.
to just like, okay, and I believe and nobody ever get to used to the situation that, oh, this is my
Mm-hmm.
cross, I just accept it like that. Because
Yeah.
if it is like that, it won't be draining, it won't be
Yeah.
overwhelming. So the point here is everyone making that effort to be able, like what you just said, making allowances for people and not being offended if they don't understand first, but creating that space to teach and to express the situation of the need of your child.
Yeah.
And then for everyone else to also make that effort to go, you know, uh, the extra mile to have that understanding. Even if I'm not affected as is me personally,
Yes.
but it's affecting my neighbor, it's affecting my community, it's
Yeah.
affecting my people. So I have the responsibility to learn and be aware and look out on how I can be part of the solution.
Yeah.
That is what humanity is all about. And when it comes to a religious circle or a godly circle, is even more of our responsibility, because if we can go out of our own people to go into the world to rescue others,
Yeah.
telling them about our faith is even better when we are able to treat those that is within our faith. Because the word of God says that if you cannot take care of your own household, you are even worse than people that have not come to faith.
Yeah.
You know, so taking care of your own household is not just about somebody feeding their people, but being able. What you want to go and free people from prison, people that are not already, but the ones that here, you keep them in prison in your own head or in your own heart. You understand? So
Yeah.
it's that effort that matters. Doesn't mean that we have come to a place whereby we have all the cards on the table. So this is just a message to all to come to that table. And parents, don't be defensive. Don't because of lack of understanding. You can be the one that now pioneer or advocates for understanding by taking it upon yourself to learn more
Yeah.
about that situation and be able to create that awareness and support system in that community or in that gathering or in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I believe that is our responsibility. And it calls for everyone to make that effort. And
Yeah.
especially for leaders, it's very simple. Get yourself what is neurodiversity. Get the basic knowledge. Then different aspects of neurodiversity. How does this thing work? You don't have to be an expert.
Yes.
Just have the basic understanding. It helps to be able to just empathize, not
Yeah.
in sympathy or looking down or pitying, but it helps you to put yourself in that this is not something that people are doing intentionally. It is something we all have to support to give chance of a
Yeah.
better life, not just for that child, but for the
Yes.
family or the caregiver
Even the whole
as well.
community at large.
Yeah,
Even the whole
exactly.
community. Because how do you explain that a child is actually disturbing in maybe let's say church service? Like how the pastor now said, come and sit with me. Do you know that it would have saved at least 5 to 10 minutes of struggle whereby everybody will be fully distracted?
Exactly.
So it's also saving everybody stress. The mom will be so
Exactly.
stressed out, so ashamed of herself, trying to drag the child out. The ushers will be pulling and tugging, and the child will be struggling. No matter what you are talking, people will be distracted. And it will take at least 15-10 minutes again to everybody to actually like settle both in mind and spirit again. So that knowledge alone, the way he handled it, saved a whole lot, like even more than we could have ever imagined. And how? Because of simple attitude. It's all about attitude. Simple positive attitude went a very long way to save everyone the stress, the time, the distraction, the shouting and screaming that would have followed. So it's I don't know. And one area that I know we still have a few minutes, but I don't know what you think, but I'm thinking maybe we should not spend the whole 1 hour. But one area that we ought to look at, I started a research on it one time during my studies, but it ended up not being my major research, so it was just an assignment. The impact of all of this on the siblings. The impact on the siblings. When I started this research, it was enormous. Like the things I saw, even though I hadn't continued in depth, was enormous. It would lead to so many things as big as a sibling not even being able to talk in the public. It will affect their confidence. Some of the siblings actually go into depression.
Yeah.
Siblings of children with special needs, they actually go into medically and clinically treated depression. But still, nobody even thinks of connecting it to what is going on at home. People think it's just about how they will come. Do you know that so many of these siblings happen not to be even getting enough sleep at night, let alone that thing that happened in church now? That level of embarrassment, you can imagine how you feel as a parent, and then the sibling, maybe somebody who's a teenager, would maybe a girl or the opposite gender that they would already be admiring, and then it happens that the younger brother or the younger sister was everybody's attention in the church. Imagine how that child will feel. We as adults, we might think these are flimsy, but it is not. To them, it's like the most. We all know at a time when we thought that the whole world is watching us when we walk on the street. So to children at that age, you can imagine what it will do to their ego. You can imagine what it will do to their confidence. So when we go back to what we are talking about today, we say everybody, even though we tackled church today, everybody should just borrow some, give every other person some cut people slack, cut some people slack. It's not just all about what makes me comfortable, what makes me happy. Like the woman that said stop bringing this child here. To her, the child disturbing about 2 to 3 minutes, or let's say 10 minutes at most, or the child walking up and walking down, it wasn't even a major disturbance. Just that, she goes down to the restroom, comes back, and then in a few minutes he wants to go again. It wasn't even a major one. Such a person has not sat down and thought that today this child is disturbing us for like 10-15 minutes. Has that person thought about the person that this child is with 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year? So we have not considered that even though I am made uncomfortable for this short period of time, probably in the church, probably at the bus stop, probably at an event, you have not considered that if this child is making me this uncomfortable, I wonder what the parents, the siblings, everybody that live and share and live in the same house with that child, you have not thought about what they are going through. And just like I'm saying, both those of us that are in this situation and those that are not, it will be a very good virtue to always put yourself in other people's shoes. It will go a very long way for all of us on the face of the earth, all of us. At this point, I'm no longer talking just about special needs. I'm talking about everything. You see people struggling, you think they are faking it. You see people struggling, your best outburst is what stupidity, or you just trivialize it. And on the day of your struggle, you expect everybody to understand. It doesn't work that way.
Or some people just think because they want to be on benefits.
Oh,
that is why
they are
emphasizing their situation.
Yes.
Because they want to use that situation. So a mother actually said something that another mother said to her, you that have a child like this, government will be giving you money now.
Can you imagine?
And then, that's provoked that other mother to say, may you also have that kind of child.
Oh,
so
Chimo, please.
So it can be very, very devastating when people are not sensitive
Yes.
to other people's situations.
Can you imagine now?
Because I believe there is no one that wants to have a child in the spectrum or have a severe case just because they want to be on benefits. So that's very, very insensitive
statement.
To those situations. It might not sound bad to you, but that just crippled. Do you know that depending on the severity of the situation, some parents would never thought of their child being able to go through school, go to university, or even thinking of marriage in the future.
You are talking about going to school.
All we myopically think about is peanuts. We've seen children about 17, 18, or 16 making millions.
Yes.
What exactly does it mean? So we have to be very, very careful when we make some insensitive comments that will keep a parent awake in the night and make them feel ashamed of themselves. Because, what Dr. Ijema was just emphasizing on, actually, I also have a research on it. You understand? A few years ago, which I believe we need to go back, because this cannot just be treated shortly. We need to take it stage by stage. If the parents are already separation, and it's called, affiliate stigma. You
Yeah.
understand? We have those kind of stigma, like that is who they are. So because I have a sister or a brother in the spectrum, I have that affiliate stigma that
Yes,
makes
that
me,
is, yeah,
that
transferred.
reduces me, that causes me anxiety, that makes it very, very difficult
Yes.
because of the negative stereotype. And sometimes some blame themselves, you understand?
Yes, it's true.
Because they can't even be fully angry because it could have been them. You understand? When you having those kind of contradicting thoughts inside
Yes.
of you, which is not supposed to be. And sometimes these young people, they act out. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? They act out, and they are very angry. They are very, they say insensitive things, or they become depressed and withdrawn.
Yeah.
So it's our responsibility to be kind and be empathetic,
Yeah.
because you don't know the war that is going on in their minds. Like
Exactly.
the example that just was just given, a young girl, a young boy that is coming, they are attracted to their peers, but because of that affiliate stigma, they don't have the confidence to go ahead and do that. Or they get to a point, some of them just think, oh, they are going to build a wall of separation so that nobody will connect them to
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
siblingness. And that also make them feel guilty. The guilt will
Exactly.
be eating them deep down while they are putting on a
The
strong
smiley face.
facade.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's complicated, and we need to really go deep into this and see how these young people can be supported, can be able to bring them out of their cocoon,
Yeah.
be able to redirect their emotions, be able to break it open that is not their fault and they have no reason to carry on, and
Yeah.
be able to teach them ways that will
To
open their
cope.
hearts as well, to be
Yeah.
more empathetic and caring
Yeah.
without carrying the blame, or without carrying the the load of shame that is associated with the stigma. So it's very important, and we need to come out with our research and have that discussion. And we need to talk to parents that have siblings
I'm in
that
a
are going
program.
through
Can
such
you go?
things. Thank you so much. We only have, I know many people will be on the, what's it called, YouTube. And once again, greetings to you all. Thank you for stopping by. And our special invitees here, before we round up, we are going to go up now. Sister Ify, if you have any any more thing you want to say around what we've discussed, and if you want something, because you didn't join us from the beginning, maybe a topic, something that is really uh, that you need to discuss, please send us a message. We are building up the WhatsApp platform, and we will be sending it out to our community, parents in the community, where we will be giving support, and what people can actually ask for. They ask their questions, and the one we don't have answers to, we'll be able to signpost you to the right direction. So just before we go up, any last words from you? Thank you for joining. Thank you for your time.
I haven't really got, for now, I'm just kind of mostly like listening and taking it in. And as I've been here and got few things to actually think and sit down and we work or we do about and mentioning about how I have been actually okay, just the my particular issue of where I always get so downcast because she's to me she's a girl and the society we are living in and Grace always see Grace like it hurts me more because she's kind of like my sister. So
Yeah.
I haven't got a sister in the entire world. She's just me. So having her was like, yes, I've got a sister now. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's just like I break down and just like crying, God, why? But as time goes on, God has been faithful and God has been helping us and going through everything we are going through by His grace, really. And we have, like I said, I haven't got any apart from the shame or family gathering. She's just that can the odd one out.
Yeah.
So things like that, kind of brings someone's spirit down. And
Yeah.
then, like you said, thinking about Joshua, who is, sometimes he also affects his faith and his spirituality and everything really. So, but both of them to just be growing and they have never like had any communication whatsoever with the sister, is
Yeah.
sometimes very tough on him. But you know, we are just pushing along, believing God for what He can do. And
Of
yeah,
course.
so I just want to encourage us all that God sees it. God is aware. He's not unaware of it. Um, he's given us the grace, and we just hold on to Him, and He'll continue to comfort us and continue to help us along the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. That's beautiful, and that's that's from strength.
Mm.
That's a great strength when one is able to like get to that place of, though it's heavy, but yeah, God will help us to carry on.
Mm.
And yeah, part of what this series is about is focusing on the girl child, and we'll send you a link to the to that WhatsApp community where support will be put on there, and you can ask any question because we have lots of moms that have gone through that stages, and you will get most of the support. And like I said, what we don't have, we will be able to signpost you or call in professionals in that area to give us the right support.
Yeah,
So
okay, that'd be
thank you for
nice.
connecting.
Thank you so much for having me as well.
Thank you, Sister Tina, for joining. Though we are rounding up now, and
Okay.
hopefully you join us early next week. Sorry,
Yeah.
because
Thank you,
actually
Tina.
we are supposed to start now, because of what we need to do. So
Early.
we
1 hour
started
early.
a bit earlier.
Earlier.
Yeah,
Okay.
we started 6 o'clock. So next week definitely we'll send it out earlier. We're going to be 7 by the grace of God, and will just help us share out there and
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, to build up the platform so that we're able to reach out to as many uh, people as will need it by the grace of God. Thank you, everyone. One last word from you, Gemma, as we close the session for today.
No, I want us to run along. We are late
You are
already
muted.
for the next. Oh, no last word. I just want to thank everyone. Thanks, Tina, for dropping by. But we really need to run. We are late already for the next
Okay,
class.
that's all
Yeah.
right.
Thank you. Thank you, Ify.
All right.
Thank you.
Have
You're
a
welcome.
wonderful weekend, everyone. Thank you very
You
much for
too.
coming by.
God bless you.
Yeah.
All
Bye.
right then.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for dropping by. I appreciate it always.